Hello, hello, hello. I hope you are having a great day, and I really hope you had a rejuvenating and relaxing winter holiday break. I know a lot of people here probably celebrate Christmas, but there's lots of other festivities going on at the same time, or around the same time. So, whatever you celebrate, I hope it was nice and relaxing and fun. I thought I would quickly just look at the NHL wildcard standings. I guess kind of the winter break's kind of seen as that halfway-ish, not really, point in the regular season. It kind of, it's given us enough of a sample size to be able to extrapolate a more concrete estimate of how the team will perform in the long run. Though, I think, what was it, 2019? The St. Louis Blues are actually at the bottom of the standings at this time in that year, and then they actually went on to win the Stanley Cup. So, weird things can happen, but I think for the most part, taking stock of the situation at this checkpoint is a pretty accurate indicator of how the rest of the season will go for a club. So without further ado, please sit back, relax, and let's get right into it. Alright, so the Atlantic, pretty much what I expected. We have Boston, Toronto, kind of locked into that top position. Interestingly enough, Florida's there. I didn't really think they'd be a top 3 team necessarily. I think they'll make the playoffs, but I thought they might be more of a wild card team just because they're so banged up, but they've been playing well. Matthew Tkachuk's been quiet for his standards. I think he's just under a point per game pace right now, but he's more than capable of just exploding in the second half of the season. But discussing individual performances, Austin Matthews has been insane for the Maple Leafs. Unfortunately, the rest of the team, I guess goaltending in specific has been disappointing if you're a Leafs fan. But that has not stopped them from finding themselves in a comfortable position headed into the winter break. And then Boston as well. They've been playing excellent. Losing Bergeron and Krejci, I thought would impact them, but clearly, it really hasn't had any negative impact on them whatsoever. They're playing phenomenal. Pasternak's playing great. Marchand's playing well, and they're getting a lot of depth pieces coming up into play. I'm gonna pronounce his name wrong. Morgan Geekie has been a great find for them. So I think we're starting to see these younger players, McAvoy taking the next steps for the Bruins, and I think it's showing that the Bruins will be playoffs regulars for a few more seasons before any possible retool might need to occur. Popping down to the Metropolitan, the 2 New York teams leading the way. The Rangers have been phenomenal. Much as I said, Austin Matthews has been great. Artemi Panarin has been equally as amazing. I forget if he started the year on like a 12, 13, 14 game point streak, something crazy like that. He's cooled off a little bit, but Kreider, Zibanejad, have all been playing well. They lost Adam Fox for a short period of time, but Eric Gustafsson was able to step in there nicely. Shesterkin hasn't been amazing, but Jonathan Quick has really found another level to his game. So the Rangers as a whole, they have that depth scoring. Lafreniere has showed up. The defense, they have that depth when is phenomenal, arguably one of the best goalies in the league. Their forward core has surprised me. Palmieri, Horvat, Barzal, Brock Nelson, they've all been playing really well. Their defense as well. Noah Dobson. There's the new kid, Romanov. Really great club, really good hockey team. I didn't think they would be second headed into the winter break. I thought they'd be, kind of battling for a wildcard spot, but yeah, they've been surprising. I've been impressed by their resiliency. There's been a lot of games where they've been down a couple goals and they've managed to battle back. It shows like they have a really good leadership core in that room, and obviously Horvat being the ex-Vancouver Canucks captain has kind of brought in his leadership experience, so that obviously has been great for the locker room there. But yeah, New York has been, both New York teams have been great. Wouldn't it be awesome to see them go head-to-head in a playoff series? We can hope. Speaking of surprising teams, I had no possible inkling that the Flyers would ever be in this position this season. Yeah, I don't know what to say. John Tortorella has done a great job with this team, whipping them into shape. Yeah, I mean, Sean Couturier coming back is obviously huge. Travis Konechny's playing great. They have this new kid called Forrester, who's been playing well. But it's a lot of names that you wouldn't really expect to, there's not a lot of superstar talent on this team. No offense to any other players, but there's not like a Austin Matthews or a Matthew Tkachuk, Artemi Panarin, Kucherov on this team. They kind of remind me of what the Kraken were last season, where it's a lot of players that aren't superstars, but they're really good at just gelling as a team and coming together and finding a way to edge out gritty victories. And actually, recently they played the Detroit Red Wings, and I believe they were down 4-0 or 4-1, and they managed to actually bring the game all the way to a shootout. And I think, being down that much, it's super demoralizing, and the fact that they were able to mentally bounce back from that and scrape out that 1 point, tells a lot about the character in that room and how they're responding to John Tortorella's coaching. So I think that's really interesting as well. I'm not sure they'll stay in the playoff picture. It'd be interesting if they did, but when we look at the wildcard teams, I think there's just a lot of wildcard teams that should be better than Philly, and I think at some point the Cinderella streak, so to speak, is going to end for the Flyers, unfortunately. Alright, let's take a look at the wildcard teams here. We have the Washington Capitals and the Tampa Bay Lightning. I would actually say, yeah, if you're a Lightning fan, I don't think you're very comfortable in this position at all, obviously. The Capitals have been really surprising again. Ovi, I think he was on his longest goalless streak in his entire career, which is insane. Everyone knows he's chasing that Wayne Gretzky record. But he really fell off hard from the start of the season to now. His last game, he actually got a goal. He got the game-winning goal and assist. So he showed a twinkle of his past self, but he's been frankly really bad for the Caps lately. But they have Dylan Strome. Tom Wilson got a hat trick. A lot of teams hate him, but it's players like who else? Anthony Mantha played well. John Carlson hasn't been great. Alexei Protas. It's weird to look at this Washington Capitals team and see them do so well when their best player, Ovechkin, is just not producing at all. Neither is really Kuznetsov either. And obviously they lost Backstrom, unfortunately. Backstrom's hip surgery kind of ended his career, which is the same hip surgery that Patrick Kane had. But I just think over the length of the full season, I think we'll see the lack of actual production from Ovechkin if he continues to really be a hindrance to the Capitals. And we'll see if the Flyers are able to continue to outplay teams that on paper, talent-wise, are much better than them. The Tampa Bay Lightning, obviously they lost Vasilevsky for a long period of time while he was recovering from his, I think it was back surgery he was having. But Kucherov's been insane, leading the league in points right now. Stamkos contract year, he's been playing well. Braden Point's been great. Nicholas Paul has been really well. Well, actually, he got bumped up to the first line, PP1, so that's great for him. Anthony Cirelli, Victor Hedman stepped up while Sergachev's been out with an injury. So their players are playing well, but they find themselves in a kind of sticky situation where they're looking at really fighting for a playoff position. They have about, 3-4 teams just breathing down their neck, so they can't really afford to get behind the 8 ball here. As much as Kucherov has been playing amazing, it's really going to be a long road ahead for them if they want to comfortably make it into the playoffs. I don't know. I think it'll be a dogfight for these last 2 wildcard spots. I really do. The East is just so competitive. Let's go down the list here. So the Carolina Hurricanes, they've had a few really disappointing games. Obviously they've lost Frederik Andersen, and Ante Ronda was cut recently due to his poor performance. So they have Piotr Gorchakov. I might be pronouncing that name right, but he's been kind of a goalie. I mean, he's good, but I don't know if he's who the Carolina Hurricanes need. There's so much talent on that roster, so much experience. Svechnikov has been battling injury after injury, but he was finally back. He had a couple assists. Who's been on and off. Martin Nietzsche has cooled off from his hot start at the beginning of the year. Same with Teuvo Teravainen, but all the pieces are there for this club. They have the potential to go far in the playoffs. But they find themselves again, like the Tampa Bay Lightning, in a position where they're really going to have to dig in, and in a sense, their playoffs start, basically now, because they really need to find a way to make it into that playoff picture and kind of distance themselves from the rest of the pack, so they feel a bit more safe and secure. I guess along that same vein, the New Jersey Devils have been obviously they went on that nice run in the first round, beating the New York Rangers. But yeah, Luke Hughes, Jack Hughes has looked great. Nico Hischier has looked great. I know he was away or out with an injury, but Timo Meyer's has been he's been horrendous. Really disappointing to see for Meyer. I don't really watch too many Devils games, but the ones that I do, they just look kind of flat. At the beginning of the year, Jack Hughes was lighting it up, and he still has that potential. He's a great player. He's going to be a great player for a long time, but I just haven't really seen them come together as cohesively as the teams that are in a playoffs position right now, like the Flyers. I guess they're a good benchmark. The Devils need to find a way to win those games where they're down a couple goals, morale's low on the bench, and they need to find a way to just claw back into the match. We'll see. It'll be really interesting. I think all 4 of these teams, Hurricanes, Devils, Wings, kind of the Canadiens, kind of the Penguins. Well, these 3 at least, the Hurricanes, Devils, and Red Wings are all going to be battling for a playoff spot. It'll be super, super interesting to watch. But yeah, hopefully the Devils, hopefully Hughes, finds a way, because he's such an entertaining player to watch. But it just find a way to win those games that a lot of people would count them out on. Like, as I said, when they're down a goal, they have to claw back. Moving on. The Detroit Red Wings. They won the Patrick Kane sweepstakes, and yeah, I've been really impressed by them. Dylan Larkin, Lucas Raymond, Maurice Sider, Shane Gostisbehere, David Perron, Robbie Fabry, and now that they have arguably the greatest American-born NHL player of all time, Patrick Kane, joining their ranks, I think it's going to be a really dangerous and really interesting club to watch. They're currently 3 points out of a playoff spot, but I would say that they're really going to make it close and competitive, especially with the Kane signing. And everyone knows Patrick Kane's not just signing to be there; he's signing to go after another cup. Obviously, the Wings know this, and I'm sure they pitched it to Kane that they're going all in this year, or as all in as you can get in their position. But I will, I'll be watching a lot of their games because they're such an interesting team to watch. As well, I love and DeBrincat. How can I forget DeBrincat? DeBrincat and Kane have this chemistry from the Chicago days, so that's amazing to watch as well. I see a lot of potential in their Wings, and even though Kane's surgery was the same one that Backstrom had, and the same one that eventually led to Backstrom's retirement, in the games that I've watched, he's played really, really well. And he was saying it himself, he thought the surgery would make him play better and not worse, and he's definitely proven that. So it'll be really interesting to see how the Red Wings do. Moving on to the Montreal Canadiens. I mean, they're okay. They're not like a pushover. They're not a gimme. Like, teams aren't seeing the Montreal Canadiens and being like, oh, well, that's a guaranteed win. No, they're making it hard. Nick Suzuki, Cole Caulfield, Yuri Slafkovsky, Mike Matheson, Josh Anderson, Jake Evans. They're all playing really well. The goaltending with Montembeault has been alright, I guess. I don't know. They're a good club. I think they have a good future ahead of them with all that young talent that they have coming up through the pipeline. But I don't think they make the playoffs. I could be really wrong, but I really don't think they have the ability to outplay like the Wings, the Devils, the Hurricanes, the Lightning. I just don't see it. But I love watching Montreal Canadiens playoff games, but unfortunately, I really don't think they'll be able to make it this year. On to the Penguins. My second favorite team, so to speak. They've been so frustrating. The power play was 0 for 37 at one point, which was just horrible. And they couldn't for the life of them summon up the courage. I don't know why Kyle Dubas hasn't fired Reardon yet. I mean, 0 for 37 is abysmal. It's horrendous. It's honestly complacency at this point, where you're leading in games, or you're close to winning games, and you get on a power play and you just absolutely just throw the game away with terrible passing, terrible coverage. There's been so many games where they've actually done worse when they were on the power play. I don't know, like, it started to click the last few games, but for the talent on that roster, you got Sidney Crosby, you got Jake Gensel, Chris Letang, Evgeny Malkin, Brian Rusness with an injury, but he'll be back. Eric Carlson. There's just so much talent there, and to have a power play that bad is ridiculous. So I hope the Penguins can turn it around. I think they can. They have a tough road ahead of them, beating out so many great teams. I want to say that they can do it, but it's looking really, really, really bad for them. The goaltending has been alright. Justin Jarry had a couple guess speaking of disappointing, let's talk about the worst three teams. The Buffalo Sabres. I mean, I really thought they'd be so much better. Tage Thompson's kind of fallen off. Dolly's been playing well. Owen Power's been Casey Middlestat, Jeff Skinner. Who are their goalies? Is it Uka Pekka-Luukkonen and Devin Levi have been sharing the crease. I think Devin Levi got sent down and then brought back up. They have Dylan Cousins. So they have a lot of young players, I guess similar to the Montreal Canadiens. They're kind of just finding their footing. Yeah, I know they were battling really hard last year to get in, but this year it looks like anything short of a miracle. I don't think they'll really be in that battle for the wild card spot. I mean, they've playing really well recently. But yeah, I really just don't think they have the potential to make it past all of the teams above them either. Similar to the Canadiens. The Columbus Blue Jackets. Oh, speaking of disappointing teams, Patrick Laine has been horrible. Johnny Gaudreau's been equally as bad, almost-ish. Slightly better, but I think that's predominantly because he hasn't been injured as much as Laine. I mean, that guy is just an injury magnet. Really upsetting if you're a Columbus fan. The one bright spot is that they have this one line that has all Russians on it, and that line has been phenomenal. So that's been one bright spot, but goaltending hasn't been that great. Merzlikins has been I don't even know who the coach there is anymore after Babcock. The defense hasn't been terrible. I mean, Werenski is a great player. Ivan Provorov's in there too, but really upsetting. I mean, I really thought Patrick Laine. They're also losing. They don't have Boone Jenner either. So I mean, yeah, they're banged up with injuries, and even when they were healthy, they weren't really producing. So I think it's honestly just building some confidence, and that Fantilli kid looks insane. So I think it's just getting him the reps in, building his confidence. Just preparing for the next season. Even then, I don't think next season will be much different for them. But who knows? Maybe they'll take a step. The Ottawa Senators. Oh goodness, this one's actually really upsetting because I thought the Senators would be right in there, fighting for a playoff spot, fighting even in the top three. But everything that can go wrong has gone wrong for them. Like Brady Tkachuk is he's nowhere to be found on the score sheet. I mean, Tim Stützle, Drake Batherson, Josh Norris. I mean, they've all been in and out with varying injuries. They've come in and out of with good performances, bad performances. Thomas Chabot, Jake Sanderson, Jacob Chikrin, sorry. Their defense has been oscillating in terms of who's that PB1 quarterback. As well, all that off-ice stuff, losing the draft pick. They recently fired a coach, everything. It doesn't look great for the Ottawa Senators, and it's unfortunate because it's such an interesting market and such a rich history there. The on-ice product is just not at the level that it should be at, given all the talent on the roster. So yeah, unfortunately, like the Blue Jackets and the Sabres, they're kind of at the point where they have to kind of look towards next season and just look at this season as building confidence and trying to pull away as many positives as you can, because they're not winning the cup, they're not making the playoffs this year. I mean, maybe they'll be like the St. Louis Blues, but I really doubt that. Moving on Mason Marchment. No, they're playing really, really well, and Matt Duchene is playing phenomenal. I think it's a contract year for Matt Duchene, so that could be a positive factor in that success. And their defense, Hiskinen, Thomas Harley, they're a great team, and they have, Jake Ottinger, who's a quality goaltender as well. So everything is going well in Dallas. I think they'll make the playoffs, no problemo at all. I don't know how deep they'll do, or how deep they'll go, but I think they'll definitely make playoffs, and they'll be a great and exciting team to watch in the playoffs, that is for sure. Hopefully Jamie Benn doesn't double hand cross-check someone in the back of the head. Onto the Colorado Avalanche. I mean, they're everything that we all expected at the beginning of the season. Even though they're missing, their captain Gabriel Landeskog, Nathan McKinnon, Valeri Nichushkin, Mikko Rantanen, Cam McCarr, Devon Taves. They have so many talented players. Jonathan Drouin has been a great addition as well. Dangerous team. I see them going deep again this year in the playoffs, but I definitely think they're a lock as well for the playoffs. Third ranked team, Winnipeg Jets. I thought they could be good. I didn't know it would transpire so quickly. I mean, they look phenomenal. Unfortunately, they've lost Kyle Connor out for 6 to 8 weeks. I think, what was that, about a couple weeks ago, but they've still been playing so well. Gabriel Velarde has really had a breakout campaign. I know the Jets acquired him in that trade from LA, so that's been great to watch. But all the players that you expect to play well are playing well. Nikolai Ehlers has stepped up. Josh Morrissey is playing, similar to the level he was playing at last year. And obviously Mark Scheifele is playing well. And then, just the depth pieces, Adam Lowry, Neil Pionk, Nate Schmidt, they all know the part that they play in the organization. They're playing it really well. So I think the Jets, bar some travesty, with Hellebuck backstopping them, I think they make the playoffs, and I think it'll be interesting to see how far they go. Because either way, they're gonna have a tough first round. A tough first round. But yeah, they'll be exciting to watch, that's for sure. Alright, and now moving on to my Vancouver Canucks. This has been a great season. We currently sit atop the Pacific and atop the league standings overall. Phenomenal performances out of JT Miller, Elias Pettersson, Quinn Hughes, Brock Besser, Thatcher Demko. Our depth is showing up. Dakota Joshua, Niels Hoglander, the defenseman Tyler Myers he's been bad, but not as bad as the past. We got Nikita Zadorov, which has been a great addition. Up and down the lineup, it's been phenomenal to watch these guys. DG Seppi has been great as well. It's finally coming together for Vancouver. I'm really looking forward to playoff hockey finally coming back to the Vancouver Canucks. It'll be great to watch. I'm not sure how deep we'll go, but it's been phenomenal watching the team, and for once, we're not getting blown out all the time. Oh man. The Vegas Golden Knights, they've been amazing as well. What else can you expect from the defending champs? They're right back there. The only gripe I have is that they didn't re-sign Phil Kessel, but that's neither here nor there. Jack Eichel, Jonathan Marchessault, Mark Stone, Ivan Barbashev, William Karlsson, Chandler Stevenson. What they have in the back end, Alex Pietrangelo. He hasn't really been doing much though points-wise. But yeah, they're a great team. Easily make playoffs as well. It'll be interesting to see how far they go too, but I think they're a lock too. The goaltending, unfortunately, both Logan Thompson and Aiden Hill So it'd be interesting how they respond to this. I can't remember off the top of my head who their goaltender is now. But, should be an interesting test for them. Okay. Just see how long this video is. The LA Kings have been playing great. Kevin Fiala has been quiet, but he usually pops off on the second half of the season. I think at one point they had like the highest goals for per game in the NHL. But unfortunately, like Dubois has just been horrible for them. Horrible. Brutal trade. It looks bad. I mean, hopefully he can turn it around. I mean, I know he can turn it around. He has the talent too, but I don't know. We'll see. I think the Kings make it into the playoffs. I'm just not sure what it will be. If it'll be a wild card, if it'll be a ranked top 3. Nashville Predators. Oh, they started horrible, but they went like on a 13-3 run. And they've been playing excellent. And largely contributed by UC Soros, but they have Gus Nyquist, Roman Josi, Philip Forsberg, Ryan O'Reilly. Obviously, I'm forgetting a ton of players, but they've looked great. Their depth is there. I'm not sure if they're a lock for the playoffs. Obviously, they're not because they're in a wild card spot, but I think they'll be right there battling for a position, and I think they should manage to find a way to squeak in, hopefully. The Arizona Coyotes have been really surprising. They're a really fun team to watch. Logan Cooley, Clayton Keller, and Nick Schmaltz, Sean Dursey, Alex Kerfoot, Logan Cooley, did I already say him? Anyway, really fun team to watch, really young team too. I think they'll be really good in a few seasons, really up there, but for now it's just really exciting to watch them play. I think they've knocked off a lot of the top teams, but they've also lost to a lot of the worst teams, so they're really they're pivoting from being insane one night to bad the other. But they're just like I said about the Montreal Canadiens, they're not a team that you can just circle and be like, okay, we're gonna go in there and get an easy W and then leave. No. They're gonna make you work for it, and they might even surprise you. So I think the Arizona Coyotes are really exciting, but I just don't know if they'll really manage to make the playoffs. The St. Louis Blues fired their coach. Jordan Binnington, Jordan Kyrou, Pavel Buchnevich, Robert Thomas, Justin Falk, Torrey Krug, Golden Barenko. Like, this team is not exciting. It's not exciting me. I don't see it and be like, oh, that's gonna be an exciting team this season. No. Sorry if you're a St. Louis Blues fan. But yeah, I obviously they're battling for a spot, but I don't know if they'll make it. I don't know. They might. We'll just have to see. The Minnesota Wild have been disappointing. Kirill Kaprizov hasn't really been at the level that we've seen him in years past. Philip Gustafsson has been brutal in that. Oh, he's been so bad. He's beginning to bounce back a little bit. But I don't know. Like I said before, like the team's offense goes through Kirill Kaprizov, and when he's not popping off, the team itself doesn't really do the greatest. I mean, they have Matt Boldy, they have Marco Rossi, like they have these young players that are complemented by older vets like Marcus Foligno and Jared Spurgeon. But I don't know. I don't know if this team is going to make the playoffs. I thought they would be basically where the Predators are, and I guess to some extent they are, but I just haven't been impressed by them, and I don't think they'll make the playoffs right now, at least. The Calgary Flames, oh man, sorry if you can hear my stomach. The Calgary Flames have been so disappointing. That Huberdeau contract might go down as one of the worst or the worst contract in NHL history. His fall off has been horrendous. horrendous. I feel really bad for the guy. But similarly though, Elias Lindholm hasn't been playing well. I mean, at least to his standards. And when you watch the Calgary Flames, it's not the big names. Lindholm, Kadri, Rasmus Anderson, Jonathan Huberdeau. It's not these big names that are scoring the game-winning goals. No, it's their depth pieces. It's Sorry is one of their newer, younger players. Who else do they have? Igor Sharangovich, as they acquired from the Devils in the Toffoli trade. It's these players, the younger players, I guess. You could argue they're more hungry for results than the older ones, but they're the ones that are showing up. Markstrom has been alright, but he hasn't been amazing. But yeah, I don't think the Calgary Flames will make the playoffs, but it's just been super disappointing watching the downfall of so many of their star players. Oh my goodness, my stomach's really loud. The Seattle Kraken. They overperformed last year, so they're kind of performing at the level that I expect them to. Jordan Everly off Oliver Bjorkstrand. Who's on their back end? Vince Dunn. Yeah, Vince Dunn's on the back end. Yeah, I'm forgetting a lot of players on the Kraken, but yeah. Disappointing season for the Kraken fan, but not to be unexpected. They really overperformed last season, I think. Kyler Yamamoto's been interesting though on them. Really interesting. The Edmonton Oilers, oh goodness. They have been really, I mean, they were like down here last time I did this video. Now they're a 500 team. Hopefully they can battle back. I mean, you got Leon Draisaitl and Connor McDavid from the team. You better bounce back. But the supporting pieces, Vander Kane, Zach Hyman, they've been alright. Ryan Nishkanopian's been great. But Connor Brown has just been abysmal. That reminds me. Where is it? Oh, for the Canucks. Andre Kuzmenko's been scratched a couple times too. But they're still finding success there. So I think it's like teams that are finding a way to win when players that they're leaning on get scratched or aren't available, or the teams that you're finding are in the playoffs. And for the Oilers, you take away McDavid, you take away Draisaitl. Oh, that's such a big blow to the team. But yeah, hopefully they can squeak in. It'll be really interesting to see if they can, but I don't know, it's going to be really close. They got quite a mountain to climb, but it's not impossible. And with McDavid on your team, anything is possible, I guess. The Anaheim Ducks, they really played well right out of the gate. Troy Terry, the new defenseman, Mintyukov. Oh, I'm mispronouncing that, but who else? Frank Vitrano. Who else? I mean, Ryan Strom's been playing well too. Alex Killorn, the new addition. Veteran presence in the locker room has been great. But yeah, I don't know. They got Seacrest and Drysdale back recently. Seacrest hasn't been playing very well at all, but he got a nice mission goal at the time of recording this. Their last game. So it'll be interesting to see if they can continue that momentum. The Blackhawks. Connor Bedard has been doing Connor Bedard things. He's looked great. The rest of the team, obviously, hasn't really looked great. Barton Jones is out. Obviously, that Corey Perry fiasco. Yeah, it's a tough time to be a Hawks fan, that's for sure. But good things are on the horizon, and it's exactly what you want. You know, you want the games to be kind of competitive, but you want the Hawks to lose if you're the GM, just so that you can build that superstar base. You know, get another high-ranking pick to play with Bedard and kind of build from there. So I guess from that perspective, it's a good season for the Blackhawks. But if you want to win, this probably hasn't been the great season for you. And speaking of winning, the San Jose Sharks, they're looking for double digits. Hopefully it will happen soon. But yeah, I think, again, with this team, you're just looking to be competitive in the games, looking to get positives drawn out. And yeah, obviously you're looking for the future relaxing. This has been one of my longer videos. But yeah, I hope you are feeling a bit more sleepy. And I hope you have a great rest of your day, afternoon, or evening. Until next time, guys.